So, one of the reasons I'm so excited to be here today is that if you look around this room, we have an exciting opportunity in this room, which is our diversity. When you look around this room, sisters and brothers, we have all races represented. We have men and women. We have different religions. We have different economic classes. We have members that make anywhere from $9 an hour up to about $35 an hour, right? We have people that speak different languages. And unions are one of the last places in this country where people like us, as diverse as us, actually come together for a common purpose. And that is a tremendous gift. And as we continue to build the unity across this organization, it is what gets the diversity and unity is what gives us power. And it also is an example for the city, the state, and this country. Because we do live in a moment of a lot of racial division, a lot of class division, right? So the work we do together is really critical. But it's also one of the most beautiful things about the union that struck me on my very first organizing campaign 22 years ago. And I was organizing nursing home workers in Ohio. And there it was African Americans and whites coming together. In a town, a rural town in Ohio, I have to add. There's a lot of freaking racism in that town. I'm not trying to say we solved all the problems in that town around racism, but we had workers who came together across racial lines and built a beautiful union together. And that is our opportunity. Are we up for that challenge?
Yeah.
Are we up for that challenge? So, part of my charge with this annual leadership summit is to give you a little bit of progress of the union. And the way that we think about it, and the executive board talks about it, and we talk about it in steward meetings, is that really every union, if it's doing its job, has 3 pillars of strength. The first is political and community strength. And that is quite simply our members engaging in the political process, supporting community allies in their fights. Because every time we do that, we're building political and community power and lifting up our entire community. Because the day we let our union just be about our members, and that's it, and that's all we think about and care about, we ought to just pack it up and go home and lie humble opinion. Am I right?
Right.
So that's what we're talking about. We also talk about worksite power, and that'll be the most familiar to you probably. Talking about having a lot of trained and dedicated stewards, holding management accountable for the contract, and bargaining great contracts. That's what our worksite strength is all about. The last thing we talk about is industry strength. And that, quite simply, we also call it organizing. And that's real simple. And I'm going to use Kaiser as an example. Our Kaiser members have the best contract in all of healthcare in the entire country.
Yeah.
The best contract in the entire industry in this entire country. Okay? It's a thing to be very proud of. But the moment we forget that the fact that every other healthcare facility in this entire state for sisters and brothers is non-union, right? They don't have fully paid medical for their kids and their families. They don't have defined benefit pensions. They got no rights on the job. The moment we forget that every single non-union healthcare worker is a threat to that contract is a day we're going to lose, okay? It's the same in property services. We have thousands of janitors who clean the downtown and other commercial real estate in this town who actually have a little bit better wages, some benefits, rights on the job, but there's thousands of other janitors who clean other buildings around this town that don't have that, and that's a threat to our current union. And at the airport, we have 1,000 members doing janitorial and security work, but again, same thing. Thousands, tens of thousands of other workers not with those protections. That's why industry strength is so important. And I think it's something you all should be proud of. Because a decision that SEIU made about 20 years ago is 20% of all your dues you pay every month goes to support our organizing work. It's a commitment of resources because of that fact. It's not just about helping other people, it's about defending our own contracts, our own standards at work, and elevating them. And that is something everybody in this room, I think, should be very proud of. So, let's talk about what we've done here in the past year or so. I am thrilled to tell you that for the first time in the history of this organization, and we've been around for 76 years, Over 1,000 of our members voluntarily contribute to our political fund every single month. Yeah. Raise your hand if you contribute to our Cope or Si Se Puede fund. Raise your hand. Give yourselves a round. That's a monumental achievement. And then in the last 2 election cycles, our members and staff, we did 785 shifts knocking doors, making phone calls to voters. We outreached to over 32,000 people. We actually talked to over 8,000 people between the fall election and the spring Denver City Council. That doesn't happen with all the work that you guys, without the work that you all have done. So give yourselves a round on that. In terms of our worksite power, I mentioned the Kaiser contract. We just bargained that agreement. It's a kick-ass agreement. Our members are going to save over $3,000 a year on their retiree medical when they retire now. It's again the best contract in the country. But what's more important is we just didn't go in some room somewhere and bargain the contract and that was the end of it. We used this as an opportunity to build this organization. We voted that we ratified that contract at every single work site. We had over 1,000 members come out and vote, and we signed up over 100 new members onto our COPE program, the voluntary political program that we have in this organization. MHCD, Mental Health Center of Denver, their last contract, they bargained raises of 4.25% to 10% raises, right? An amazing agreement. And SMG, which takes care of the convention center, that workforce and those negotiations converted entirely from a largely part-time workforce to a full-time workforce entirely, with a better job security, better benefits. That's a major achievement that we've achieved through doing the work site. We also bargained the parking lot attendant contract out at the airport. They did a great job as well. So again, we are doing this work all across this union. We have new stewards stepping up. I met some of them this morning. We have new cats, right? We're building this organization. So I do want to talk for a few minutes about the moment we live in this country. I don't think it's a secret to anyone in this room that we live in a moment of enormous challenge for anyone that works for a living. Am I right? And I'm going to talk about a few of those issues. First thing I want to talk about is the fact that Black Lives Matter.
That's right. Amen.
Black Lives Matter. And I know that me saying that might make some people in this room a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. I just ask you to stay with me for a few minutes, all right? And I want to be clear about what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that everybody's lives don't matter, right? Nor is that movement, actually. I want to confess something to all of you. I'm actually white. Well, you know, if you see me dance, you know, you could get confused because I can dance. You know, I got 2 white teenage boys who I love. Obviously, I love my boys. So I'm clear. I'm not saying other lives don't matter. I'm also not saying that every single police officer is a problem. Most of them are not. We know that. But what I want to be clear about is what I am saying when I say that. What I'm saying is, as union members, we damn well better understand the right of a group of people to name a problem. Right? We should understand not only just the right, but the necessity of a group of people to call the problem out in our country. Right? I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. Because when we're having a fight, I'm going to make some stuff up here, but if we're having a fight, we're calling out management, we're putting flyers out, we're saying staffing is a problem in this building, right? We're having a campaign around that. We're not saying that staffing isn't a problem somewhere else, are we? We're calling attention to a problem and demanding a solution, right? When we raise our banners on the Fight for 15 in the union campaign and say everybody ought to be lifted up to $15 an hour, we're not saying that someone making $15.50 or $25.50 or $35.50 doesn't also deserve a raise, are we? We're not doing that. We're calling attention to a problem that's got to be solved. All right? So that's what I'm talking about. And as trade unionists, we've got to understand that. And we've got to call it out. And we've got to stand in solidarity with this movement. And I also want to be clear what I'm saying. I'm saying it's very clear to me, and I think anyone who is reading and watching the videos and doing the research you should be doing, we got a problem in this country with the abuse of police power. All right? We have a problem in our criminal justice system. I have seen the videos all too often of black men and other brown people being killed. I've also seen white teenagers being yanked out of their car and killed. And my heart breaks every single time. But there is a problem in this country with police power. There's a problem in this country when we have in jail over 2 million people behind bars. Yeah, that is triple. That is triple what it was in the 1970s. That is more people on a per capita basis, which means per person basis, you adjust for population. That is more people than were imprisoned during the height of the apartheid regime in South Africa. That is not America. That is not America. We got a problem. And we've damn well got a problem. When if you're a black man in this country, you are 23 times more likely to be killed by police than a white man.
Amen.
All right? And it is a problem, sisters and brothers, when I don't have to, because I got 2 white kids, I don't have to sit them down and say, this is how you act in public. This is how you act if you get pulled over by a police officer. But my black friends have to do that to their children. That's a problem. So that's what I mean when I say Black Lives Matter. The final thing I want to say is this. That as a labor movement, we have to understand if we don't stand in solidarity, we are never going to build enough power to stop the abuse of the 1% who are screwing over every single one of us. Right? If we stand for black and brown sisters and brothers and say, I don't want you to say Black Lives Matter, and we're having this whole conversation over here, or we don't stand up when a situation comes up, we are never going to build enough power in this country. And I'm telling you right now, sisters and brothers, you can Google these videos too. The 1% in this country hold all of us. Whether or not you're white, brown, yellow, red, green, purple, they hold every single one of us in contempt. And they don't even understand how we have to live. Right? So we cannot have economic justice in this country without racial justice. In the same way, and I say this in other meetings, we cannot have racial justice without economic justice.
That's right.
Right? So are we linked? Are we unified? Good. I want to talk about another big issue, which is immigration. And, you know, our union has been clear. You've heard me talk about it. We clearly have to create a pathway to citizenship for 11 million people. But the last couple months have proven to me that we have a hell of a lot more work to do in this country. You have right now today the leading candidate for one of the major 2 parties in this country. His name is, what's his name?
Oh God, the hair man?
Oh yeah, Donald Trump.
Flip over. Trapa.
And I don't know if you saw it, but he has called for the deportation of 11 million people.
He's a disgrace.
Some of whom sit in this room, sisters and brothers. So if we're going to be a union and say the words brothers and sisters, we damn well better mean it. Some of the people he has called to send back to their country of origin are sitting in this room with you right now. We're talking about 11 million people. We're talking about families that he wants to send away. Some of them haven't been there in years.
Really?
Right?
Get the fuck out of my country.
And some people want to make fun of Donald Trump, but I think that's a mistake. I think he's a very dangerous man in this country.
If you wanted to
Because he is practicing what is called scapegoat politics. And if you don't know what scapegoat politics is, it's happened throughout history. All right, it's happened in this country. But what it is you take the real problems facing a society, because it is true, there's a lot of economic insecurity in this country right now, right? Yes. We're feeling it, right? A lot of economic insecurity. So he's trying to take that insecurity, a real problem, blame it on somebody else. Right? And what scapegoat politics is you blame a group. It's always the minority. It's always a group that doesn't have a lot of power in that society, and you say, it's their fault. You with me so far?
Right.
So, if that's what scapegoat politics is, I got a couple questions for you. Was it undocumented immigrants who made the decision to shut down thousands of factories in this country and destroy millions upon millions of good-paying jobs? No. Was that undocumented immigrants? No. Was it undocumented immigrants who said, let's bust all the freaking unions over the last 30 years? No. Did they cause that? No. Oh, was it undocumented immigrants who said, hey, let's cut the taxes on the richest 1% from 90% down to 35%? No. So, he is peddling baloney. I'm going to be polite. I won't promise it all day, but I'm going to be polite. He is peddling a bunch of horror something, right? And it is incumbent upon us as trade union leaders who live in an organization with sisters and brothers that he's calling for to get rid of, that we live in the same communities with these families. We have to stand up. And are we ready to do that?
Yeah.
Are we going to stand up to his hateful and racist and divisive rhetoric? Yes. The last thing I want to say is this on this point, because it's really important. Scapegoat politics never ends. Okay? And I don't know if you remember this. I was like 10, 11 years old. I remember some other, well, he was a president, Ronald Reagan. Remember that talk about welfare queens driving Cadillacs? A completely made up story, by the way. So back then they were scapegoating African Americans in this country saying, oh, we just got to fix welfare and your lives will be better, working people. Guess what? Remember welfare reform happened in the 1990s? Is your life any better? No. Did you see one more nickel in your pocket? No. Again, a false solution to a real problem. And if you don't remember this, when the economy crashed in 07, 08, who'd they blame? Workers, and specifically union members. Remember that? Oh, it's the public employee pensions that crashed the economy, right? Oh my God, these union members and their health care crashed the economy. Remember that? I was like, my mind was like, are you freaking kidding me, right? That's what scapegoat politics is. Because they want you, it's always this. It's always this. Look over there, look over there. Those people are our problem. Meanwhile, over here, they're stealing the money out of your pocket, your bank account, your house, left and right all day till Sunday, right? Yep. That's what that's about. And our job is smart trade unions to be smart enough to know that and talk about it to every single person who doesn't understand it yet. See you up for that challenge?
Yes.
All right. I just want you to pause here for just 2 seconds. Think about what that would mean for your family.
Better life.
All the bills you could pay. The college savings you could probably put aside. Savings for your retirement. And I know some of your stories. We're actually talking about being able to afford your medication. Right? Shoes for the kids. That's what this is about, sisters and brothers. It's not some number out there. It's real life money. That's what they've done to us. The other thing the other side likes to do when someone like me says this is like, oh, you're just jealous. You're jealous of their success. Right? You're preaching class warfare. You hear that on the news, right? On the radio? Am I preaching class war right now? Am I preaching jealousy?
No.
Speaking the truth, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Right? And that's what it's about, sisters and brothers. We have an obligation as trade unionists in this country at this moment in history to speak the truth. That's all we're doing. And not let them shut you up with these kind of bogus claims we want to do. What this really is about is how our system has been set up. Okay, it's not just about their greed. Greed has always existed from the time you put people on the planet. The difference is we have a system now that not only rewards greed handsomely, we've also given them the car keys to this country. Right? Remember trickle-down economics? Debate, right? You remember that? Some of you are younger. What trickle-down economics started with Reagan in 1980, it basically was this. Hey, America, give the rich people a lot more money than you have been, and we will have a great society. Because it will trickle down. It's going to trickle down for you guys. Okay? Remember this? This all sound familiar? We also, now they didn't talk about this part, they never said this, but when you give people all this more money, they buy the political process. They buy the politicians more than they did before, right? Am I right? That's what they do. That's what happened. So, is our economy better than it was 35 years ago?
No.
Is it better?
No.
No? So as I like to say, we got trickled on.
Yes.
We got trickled on, sisters and brothers.
My neighborhood didn't get trickled.
Pissing on us and calling it a shower. Right? That's what happened. But this was the deal, guys. We gave them the keys to we gave them all the power. Or most of it. And they have objectively failed for 35 years.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
So I want to put this in front of you today. If the 1% was an employee, wouldn't they have been fired by now?
Yes.
Wouldn't they have been fired by now? I know we got some good stewards in the room, but what I gotta ask you, if you had a worker at your site who hasn't done their job for 35 years, wouldn't they be fired by now? Yes!
Not if they're married.
35 years! Even if the 1% had a union contract, right? They would still be gone, am I right?
Yes.
Am I right, sisters and brothers?
Yes.
But instead, we continue to shower more stuff upon them. And if you haven't heard this one, you'll love it. Remember when the economy crashed in 07, 08?
Yeah.
Remember that? Since that recovery, 95% of all new income in this country has gone to the 1%. Yep. 95%. So not only have we not held them accountable, we're giving them more treasure from this country. And make no mistake about it, sisters and brothers, here's why this matters. There's only so many dollars in an economy. So every time they get $250,000 they can spend on jewelry. My kid just turned 16. 16-year-old child. It means someone else doesn't get money.
That's right.
Doesn't get money. And this is what it's about, sisters and brothers. We have a home care worker that we're working with right now. Her name is Charlotte Hoffman. She's 61 years old. She's been a home care worker for 40 years. She makes minimum wage. No benefits. Not a minute of paid time off in 40 years. Minimum wage. And she's got to make a decision when she's in the grocery line. Am I going to buy this dozen eggs? Or have money to put my gas tank into work tomorrow?
That's right. That's right.
Is that America?
No.
Is that any kind of America we want?
Hell no.
And I know this has happened more than once, but all too often she's got to make that decision to put the eggs back so she can get to work the next day. That's why this matters. That's why we've got to stop this greed that's going on. So you ready to stand up and fight back against it?
Yeah.
I thought you might say yes to that. Because here's what we are living in this moment of great crisis, but we are literally at a fork in the road. There's one group of people who've had the car keys, they've had the reins to the horse, whatever you want to say about it. They've controlled our economy and our politics for 35 years. We're getting on 2 generations of that. That's what that means. The other thing Donald Trump said, by the way, is we don't even know if we need a minimum wage.
Right.
Yeah. Their vision is clear. They want to destroy the middle class in this country. In fact, they want to destroy the hope of us ever rebuilding this country. That's what's at stake, sisters and brothers. They're not satisfied. It's never enough for them, and it never will be. Right? Then there's people like us who have a different vision for this country. We want an economy that works for everyone, right? We want our democracy to work again. I should mention that real quick. You guys know about the Koch brothers?
Yes.
Somebody doesn't know, that's good. Then we can do some education. Koch brothers are these like two old white dudes, made a bunch of money, kind of in oil and all that. They have now pledged to spend $1 billion in the next election. $1 billion. That is as much as either the Democrats or Republicans spent last time. Right? So that's what's also at stake. It's not just our economy. Our very democracy is at stake, sisters and brothers. And this is not, their vision is not what this country is about. And I will be damned if on my watch, when I got a 13 and a 16-year-old, that I'm going to give them an economy that doesn't work for anybody but the richest Americans, right? I'll be damned if I'm going to give them a country where the democracy doesn't even function anymore, and a handful of people control everything. Because we know what those countries look like across the world, don't we?
Yes.
Are we going to let America become that?
No.
Are you willing to stand up and tell that teenager, you know what, buddy? I'm sorry you're going to have to drive a 1 or 2-year-old Lexus because my kid needs health care.
Right.
Are you willing to stand up for that?
Yes.
Are you willing to stand up and tell that kid who got $250,000 in jewelry, I'm sorry you can only have maybe a couple $100 worth because I got to save for my kid's college education?
Right.
Are you ready to stand up for that?
Yes.
Are you ready to stand up and say to people like Donald Trump, you're the one who needs to get the hell out of this country?